Hello everyone, I hope the sound is okay. Today we are going to talk about Hyliion. And Hyliion just released its Q4 2020 earnings. So the conference call itself will be tomorrow, where the company management will discuss more in details, what those numbers. But we don't want to wait until tomorrow market opens, right? We want to know them right now. And that's what we are going to see in this video. So I will go through the earnings and the press release Hyliion just published in this video. And in the second part, we will see kind of where we are at right now with the current price and what I actually think about whether it's a good time to buy or not, and whether do I have invested in Hyliion myself. Okay, with that, investors, let's start. So I'm switching to the screen. Here we see the current price at $16.81. And here's the news itself. So Hyliion reports worst quarter. That's the news that was published literally something like an hour ago, because I was checking a couple hours ago and it wasn't still here. So what's interesting? Well, key highlights we are seeing here. Okay, so yeah, they talk about the EV battery. I did a quick video about this one as well, so you can check it out. I will put in the description, or you can just look in this channel. What this is about, you probably know that they just made a great improvement for their battery models using Toshiba. And that in two words, actually, there is a big improvement in terms of the long range for the battery, and as well the time that the battery needs to be charged, and that's the biggest in my opinion. I think it was around 8 minutes, which is a game changer from in my opinion again. Right, so scrolling down, so we see that previously they achieved previously forecasted volumes for 2020. That is a good, but if you look inside, what are those forecasts actually? It's only 20 hybrid electric vehicles. Not that big one really for the company with this market cap. I would say it's nothing. But again, last year was really fundamental for Hyliion, in my opinion. Again, I think that 2019 was more kind of R&D. Even though the Hyliion company exists since a couple years now, and last year they only started to build all the business connections and started to sign first contracts. And I guess in this year they forecast originally was, if I am not mistaken, about 250 vehicles installed, which is kind of 10 times more even than previous year, but still it's really nothing compared to not even Tesla, but to any other electric vehicle company which has already a massive production. So we know that Hyliion is still it's in its infancy. It's really early stage where they should have a lot of how do you call it, savings to go through it. And let's see later where they are at. So everything else, well, the design, develop next generation hybrid system, which will be introduced next year, this year, sorry. Yeah, let's go to the numbers themselves, because everything else you will hear tomorrow. By the way, I will live stream tomorrow Hyliion webcast as well. So going down, I saw results somewhere here. Okay, here we are. So this is those numbers are in thousands, and this is consolidated statement of operations. Basically, they compare in 3 months ended for 2019 2020. Well, honestly, 2019 there is nothing really to compare. The company, well, didn't have a lot of activity at that time, and only went public and start to kind of gain some traction and some hype around electric vehicle and what company is doing in 2020. That's why we see like they doubled R&D last year, which still not a lot. Like it's $4.4 million. Tesla has, well, probably should not compare this with Tesla, but was I should not compare this with Nikola as well, because Nikola it's something that nobody should compare to. We don't know if it's right or no. They totally wasted their credibility. That's the word I was looking for. So for me, Nikola is dead. I'm not even looking at that stock. So yeah, going through there, it's nothing really interesting here. Really, we should go and see the operating expenses, which of course with operations being more and kind of more elevated in 2020, we see them. I see a comment here. Think we'll announce any new customers tomorrow. Yeah, Michael. We'll see. I don't know. So far from what I see is that Hyliion and well Thomas Healy, they do not really want to have this hyped behavior on the market around their stock. They already saw it at the very beginning, and Hyliion, in comparison with Nikola, of course, they do not do really a lot of marketing. That's what I like about this company. They more looking long term with technologies that looks to be really interesting in the middle long term as well. So will they announce? I don't know. I'm not an insider. We'll see. Okay, let's moving forward. So going to operating expenses. Yeah, that's what we saw. We doubled loss from 11 to 22 million. Well, that's not really anything of interest because even those numbers are not really high. We just need to make sure that they have enough cash to finance their development and their R&D as well. And that's gonna be here in balance sheet. So we see, I hope you see the screen. I will probably put it in the full screen like this. All right, that's better. So here we are. 2018, they had only $6 million in assets. I mean, in cash and equivalents. In assets, they had 14, which is really nothing. And when they went public, they were able to get to this number. And in total, we have $650 million. Now we're talking. That's the amount that it's much more interesting. And we see that total current assets, it's almost everything is in total current assets. Let's check with current liabilities here. So current liabilities, only $10 million. Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, right now they have a lot of cash, like for many years to cover with that rate of expenses they have right now. Let me put my back on the screen so you can see me and not just the voice behind. I'm here, I'm real. So yeah, again, total number of assets short and long term, $650 million. And total number of liabilities, only $10 million. And that is great in my opinion, because well, you can get your current ratio if you want, and it will be ridiculously high, like 65 or something. Even at the point where if you have only one or more, it's good enough. But I agree that it's for this company, they will have a lot of expenses in the future. They need to scale production. They have a lot of things they need to provision for. That is why, well, it's a good number. It's a really good number. I see a question here. I like this technology involving RNG and LTO with its calculation algorithm, but still need to get contracts. I agree, even though it's still in negotiation or discussion with buyers. Yeah, no, totally agree. Without customers, there's no need to have a technology or anything else. Well, again, we will see tomorrow what they announce. I hope that somebody will ask for them. Yeah, you're welcome, Raymond. So going through consolidated statements, cash flow, and here we are. We see that well, not a surprise. negative cash flow and it grew. Well, that's normal for a growing company. But again, net loss, even though we see $40 million here, again, comparing with 60, okay, not 600, but even 390 cash and cash equivalents they have still 10 years of having that loss. It would not be good to have the 10 years of loss like this. It means the company doesn't evolve, but still. And all other numbers are not that big. You see, I mean, inside, it doesn't make sense even to go through each of those. Well, amortization, debt discount, just the small numbers here. Those are in thousand though, so what you see here are $4 million and $1 million, but still, for a company, this is nothing. This is like pennies. Okay, operating lease liabilities. So there's a purchase of investments for $237 million, which I'm not sure what this is, but well, they should invest. Any growing company should invest a lot. That's why the cash and how to finance this growth is the biggest challenge, I would say. Even Elon Musk, he said that, yeah, of course, it's easy to get from prototype to have one prototype, but the hardest thing is to produce at scale, is to manufacture 100,000 a year at least. And from going from that one to that big amount, that's where the challenge is. But again, they have money right now to show all potential future investors that they can handle it. And in my understanding and how management is doing right now, they will get it. But we'll see more tomorrow. I mean, just to look at those results, yeah, it makes sense, but also we need to hear what the thoughts and what management is talking about. So again, here, financial activities, we see that those money that we just saw in the balance sheet, so the most of it came from the IPO, you would say, right, or business combination. That's when they merged when they were on the Shell ticker, right? And Hyliion did a merge in September, I guess, 2020. That's when they began a public company. And that's what it's about. So $516 million. And then they had also warrants, which expiration ended December 31st, 2020. I had those warrants too as well. I think warrants are a great investment, especially if you believe in the company, and especially if you're there at the really early stage. Like, for example, and why warrants are so interesting is probably not the subject of this video, but just want to make sure. This morning, with this market crash that took place, like minus 20-30% for some stocks, lower market cap and even middle market cap, I was able to buy some warrants for another company, Plan 13, and yeah, in the morning I bought them, and in the afternoon I was already plus 70%. You can never have this in the good stocks, and just the magic of warrants, which is options as well, probably. Anyway, let's go further. So we see that compounding, they received all that money, of course, from selling parts of the company. So those are not some cash provided by the operations. So, and that's it. That's what they have it. Now, to the second part of my video, where I just want to share my opinion about this. Let me put here my face so you can see it more clearly. Buy or not? Well, it's up to you, really. Personally, I invested, not heavily, but I think it's around 3% of my total portfolio I have in Hyliion. And I was investing at the point where it started to take. So my lowest price was around $20. And I don't have a really good DCA, dollar cost average, on Hyliion. I did some I did make some mistakes, especially for the one I thought that I would make a short trade, but it's a different story. Now, if you want to know where we are at right now, let me just show you a screen here. So here's the price action for the last 6 months. And yeah, so you see here we were at $10 before any announcements. And at that point in June, when the announcement came that there will be a merge with Hyliion and that the price exploded. Of course, we saw the crazy movement also comparing with other SPACs. And 2020 in general, there was a year of SPACs, crazy price actions there. You could make a lot of money trading just those SPACs if you knew how. And here we see that currently we are at this level of, well, $16, $15, which is, in my opinion, is really great one. This is where it's all started. This is where we are. I don't want to get too much in details in here, but just to see, this is, it's not very, okay, it should be something like that. It's really good support. I mean, from here, it should go only up. That's the beauty of the current situation. You see this last spike of 30%, that's when they announced the battery. And, well, I bought somewhere around here where it was around this moving average, which is showing the long trend for those who do not know technical analysis. I use technical analysis mostly for my long-term positions to know whether it's a good price to enter or not. And for Hyliion, if you think that it will go up, I personally really bullish on Hyliion, this is a really good place to build the position. Even though those small fluctuations here, they're quite big actually, from 15 to 19 to 20, I would prefer to buy near that line, so around $15 to $16. Again, at this point, I have much more other companies that I want to build position in, so I'm not buying Hyliion at this point anymore. But if you want to build a position in Hyliion, this is a great opportunity right now, in my opinion. Especially with what happened and EV hype is kind of fade away. Also, Hyliion does not provide a lot of news, and when Hyliion does provide news, it just explodes for like 20-30% in a day. So to conclude, I think we are in a good spot right now. The company has enough cash. To handle through at least several years to prove that their technology works, and especially combining with the recent news about the battery, the new module, and how fast it can be charged, and so you can use it for a longer time as well. It's really good combination, but the companies still have to show that they can handle the production at scale, and well, they can build it. For now, I don't have anything else like in negative terms to say about Hyliion. I don't want to get into details here. It's really like high level technical, not technical, but sorry, I'm losing my words right now. I think it's time to, if you have questions, just write me in the chat right away. But if you don't, I think we are going to wrap up. Hello, Rock and Pro. I really appreciate if you click that like button. That helps a lot. Like, give me a high five, but in YouTube terms. And it also keeps promoting the channel, which that's the reason why I'm doing this. So also, if we have, I posted in the chat a link to join our Discord group where we talking about all that stuff. We have the long-term positions there, and we also talk about short-term positions there. And just in general, it feels great to have a community, a small community of investors without any bots or anybody who wants to sell something. Just really to help each other and kind of share our own opinions. And there are people from around the world, so feel free to join. I will see you there in Discord then. And of course, Patreon, if you want to to see all my movements. I have private groups like for signals, or each time I post, I buy and sell. I post there whether it's a short-term trade or long-term trade. Well, you got it. And there's a trade setups channel as well. I probably should show it here, but thank you, Raymond, for liking it. By the way, what I was thinking that historical high 68 million shares transfer on the day has its purpose. Major institutions has stepped in day after that day. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So again, thank you for being here with me. Please subscribe and see you soon. Let's continue in Discord. See you soon, investors. Bye.